Blessed morning to all administrators, faculty, students, and parents of the CEAP member schools all over the Philippines. I am Leandy Valias, CEAP Membership and Communications Officer, and I will be your moderator for today. Before we proceed formally with our panel discussion, let us begin with an opening prayer as we remember that we are in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for another wonderful day that you have given us. Another day for us to enjoy your creation and enjoy the life you have given us. Be with us here today as we learn more about matters related to COVID vaccines and vaccinations. Be with our panelists as they share their time and knowledge with us. Grant them the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, and may your words of consolation, hope, and encouragement be shared through them. Help us discern our steps forward. Lord, we continue to face difficult times as a country, and we know that many of us and our fellow brothers and sisters are struggling through this pandemic. But Lord, we continue to hold on in faith that with you, all things will be well according to your plan. Inspire us to move forward in hope and faith as we face this pandemic. Grant us the grace to have deep compassion for those who are most in need and to respond generously to their needs. For our frontline workers, please protect them and keep them safe through this pandemic. Send forth your Holy Spirit and lead us towards the path you wish for us today, a path of love, hope, and courage. Always remind us that we are the people of the resurrection. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Father, and Son. Good morning once again. For those who have just tuned in with us, we welcome you to the second webinar of the CEP Information Campaign on COVID vaccination. We are live both on the CEP Facebook page and the CEP channel on YouTube. Feel free to continue sharing this to your fellow teachers, administrators, parents, and relatives, so they can join in and also listen. Last April 14th, we watched the first webinar entitled Back to Basics, the Whats, the Hows, and the Whys of COVID vaccination. We had Father Nicanor Austriaco Jr., OP, share his knowledge about vaccines and vaccinations. A significant amount of time was spent clarifying concerns and fears regarding the vaccines. Now we know COVID-19 vaccinations can save lives and help our country thrive once again. Our main goal, may we celebrate Christmas with our loved ones this year. And for us to do that, we need to encourage more people to get vaccinated so we can achieve herd immunity or community immunity. That's 70% of our population. As mentioned by Father Austriaco last Wednesday, yes, taking vaccines can be really risky. But we continue to hold on to the fact that love is greater than fear. Our love for our family and those around us can be our motivation. Today, we will focus on stories and testimonies. We will put a face behind these vaccinations. Our invited panelists agreed to participate in this discussion to encourage more people to get vaccinated. We are going to hear their stories firsthand of what it is like to receive the vaccine. Before we begin this discussion, allow me to give you some reminders. First, as the talk is ongoing, we encourage you to post your questions or comments at the comment section on Facebook and YouTube, and we will ask these questions or read the comments during the Q&A portion. Second, certificates. We get a lot of queries about certificates. Please be informed that you will receive the certificate of attendance only upon completion of the evaluation form. The link has already been posted as part of the caption of these videos, both on YouTube and Facebook, but please do note that the link will only go live from 11:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. today. So we encourage you to answer the evaluation form and you will receive your certificate of attendance within 3 to 5 business days. Third, please be reminded as well that this is a free webinar brought to you in partnership with Tech Factors. Again, we are giving this to you for free. But if you want to pay it forward, you may donate to our Kapatirang Kamagong Fund. It is our fund for helping the poor and struggling CEAP mission schools because we believe that we heal as one. Or you may show your support by sending us Facebook stars or donate to the bank account that will be posted or as you can see being shared right now. Lastly, we encourage you to share this webinar to your networks with the hashtags #CEAPcares, #ILoveCatholicEd, and #ILoveCEAP. Okay, so the first part of this webinar will focus on our panelists sharing their personal experience. They will share their fears and how they were able to overcome them, their motivation, so that more people will be encouraged to do so. So without further ado, let's introduce our panelists. Our first panelist is currently the Dean of Graduate School in Education and Senior High School Principal at the St. Paul University, Manila. She is also one of the CEAP Trustee at Large and the Chairperson of the CEAP National Basic Education Commission. She is also a Private Education Assistance Committee Certifier for over 10 years now, and also a member of the Research Community for PEA. Please welcome Sister Felicitas V. Bernado, SPC. Next panelist is currently the principal of Manila Cathedral School. She has been working with MAPSA since 1994 and has gone through the full range of experience in the education sector, from teacher to student area coordinator to prefect of student, registrar, and even head of the school student services. She has a doctorate in education, majoring in educational management. For her work, she has received the Outstanding Private School Educator Award from the Department of Education, Manila, and the City Sapienta Award for Most Outstanding Academic Teaching Administrator. Please welcome Dr. Jesusa Bulotano. And our third and last panelist is a graduate of Ateneo de Manila University, School of Medicine and Public Health. Before entering medicine, he joined the Jesuit Volunteers Philippines, or JVP, and was assigned in Post Yolanda, Eastern Samar for 1 year. It was in his time in JVP that he decided to enroll in ASM PH, where he grew passionate about public health. Because of this, he joined Doctors de Barrios and is now assigned as a municipal health officer and rural health physician in Lanuza, Surigao del Sur. Currently, he is heading the vaccine campaign in this area, hoping to vaccinate all of the 13 barangays. Please welcome Dr. Alberto Antonio Jr. Virtual palakpak po for all of the three panelists. Good morning po.
Good morning.
Morning, Dr. Albert.
Morning.
Morning, Dr. Susan. Morning, Sister Feli.
Morning.
Okay, so just want to do a quick introduction again for the first part. We will hear our panelists sharing their personal experiences, their fears, doubts, motivation, so that more people will be encouraged again to be vaccinated. And then we have prepared a set of like a pre-questions for the panelists that they will be answering. So again, probably I will ask for Sister Feli, followed by Dr. Jesusa, and then Dr. Alberto. Okay lang po?
Yes.
So here is our first question. So how has your general experience of the pandemic been? Like since March 2020, when it was announced po. So let's start with Sister Feli.
The initial reaction could be classified as something like panic, because I personally was entering into something that was new. I didn't know anything about the COVID-19, the new normal that I was entering into. But after few months, I started to calm down and told myself I cannot be staying the whole time in the panic mode. So I started gathering the bits and pieces that were scattered in the first few months of the pandemic. And since that time, I really never doubted that I needed the vaccine. So I kept joking around that kung merong sisigaw sa karsada, nagtitinda ng vaccine, like nagtitinda ng balot, I would run to the gate and have myself vaccinated. The reason for this is that I go around, no? Wala ako sa loob ng bahay most of the time. I move from one place to another, even now. So that was my initial experience.
So for Sister Feli, panic is the first reaction for her. How about you po, Dr. Jesusa?
If you're going to ask me my feelings, since it started March 2019, as if it has not yet sink into me really, as if it is a time for me to, after long years of working, it's time for me to stay at home. So the first few months, I've been enjoying my stay at home. Although watching the news, it makes me frightened and nervous, not for myself, but for the whole family as well, because my son is not with me. He is living away from us. I can see my two daughters, but my son, I have for that long period, I have not seen him. Although he comes here at home every Christmas time. But March 2020 is a different one because that time, I have already the chance to be away from home after the 2019. So I can report to school. I can see the people that I have not seen for a longer period of time. So there is already this excitement, but at the same time, there is this fear. And I am really very consistent with my instruction to all the faculty members that you stay at home. It's okay with me. I'll be the one to report to school together with the director's council. Just stay at home and be safe because I do not want anybody to get this COVID disease. I fear for them. I really fear for them. But up to this time, there is this feeling of fear because as you can see, the people around you, they keep on telling you keep safe always. And that's the same thing that I've been telling to them. Likewise, keep safe always. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jesusa. Correct me po. So the first experiences, really did not sink in until now. Now, we are really required to stay at home and not see each other. I agree on that, Doctor. How about you po, Dr. Alberto? How has it been?
Hello. Well, as with both our panelists, it was also very difficult for me. Last year, I was a young healthcare worker. I was a medical intern in the medical city. And actually, I was one of the first to get quarantined because I got exposed to the first patient in medical city or in the whole Philippines. So for the first 3 months, I finished my internship online. So while preparing for my physician licensure exam as well, I was studying at home. We had online review sessions, and it was very difficult. So when the exam finished and then we passed, we couldn't celebrate together, we couldn't graduate together. So there were many milestones for a beginning doctor that were missed. And then I was just at home while waiting for employment. And when Lanuza became available, I immediately left and became the doctor here. So when I arrived here, it was very timely because we were just beginning our vaccination rollout. So now I'm going around the 13 barangays convincing people to get vaccinated. But in general, it has been very difficult as well.
Okay, doctor. So you actually just graduated last year and then medical doctor kind of for all 13 barangays.
Yes, po.
Without having to enjoy first the after graduation experience. I agree. Here po. So I thank you all for sharing your first, your experience, your overall projection on what is happening right now. So follow-up question po is, what were some of your initial thoughts regarding the vaccine? So since this has been over a year pandemic and may vaccine na pong available, What are your thoughts about it? Are you hoping for it? Are you having fears? Were you excited? Are you hesitant? So let's start with Sister Feli.
Just like what I have said a while ago, there was really no doubt for me that I needed a vaccine because my work requires me to go from one place to the other. In fact, during pandemic, since the start of the pandemic, I really never stopped moving around, no? Even at the height of the pandemic. So to be honest, I requested several people to help me get the vaccine the earliest time possible. I'll be honest with you, I talked with Alan. Please include me in the list of CEAP. I talked with Doris. Please include me in the list of PAYAC. I talked with 2 companies. Please include me in the list that of your company. So I practically was listed in something like 6. I was included in the 6 lists. And I said, whichever comes first, I'll grab it. So people were telling me, are you going to have yourself vaccinated with Sinovac? I said, I don't have any particular brand in mind. Anything that would come first, I'll grab it. Anything that would come first, I'll grab it. In fact, these 6 lists where my name was included were actually subscribing or hoping they would get the Pfizer, the Moderna, the Sinovac, the Astra, yun, gano'n, no? Johnson. So I really did not have any particular vaccine in mind. Basta sa akin, I have to be vaccinated because I move around almost every day. Okay? So yun yung experience ko talaga. And then the irony of it is that I did not even register in Manila, but it was in Manila that I got the vaccine. Hindi ako nag-register because to me, sabi ko, limang pangalan ko nag-appear na sa iba-ibang listahan. That would be enough. I said I would have even the 2nd or the 3rd round cycle of the vaccine. But vaccine came from Manila, na wala naman akong pangalan sa Manila. Well, I would really thank and credit Isko Moreno for that kasi maganda yung programa niya, no? Tinawag niya talaga. Kami yung tinatawagan ng barangay. Go to this on at this particular time. So it was the experience of having the vaccine was really something positive kasi very orderly eh. Pagdating ko dun sa gym, very orderly yung and the Vice Mayor of Manila was there entertaining us, talking to us, no, assuring us that there's nothing wrong that's going to happen. Okay, so in fact, we were told, stay for 15 minutes after you get the vaccine. I actually stayed around 30 minutes, dinoblik ko, because I am diabetic. I have morning and afternoon maintenance for my high blood pressure. Okay? I'm practically taking 12 tablets a day for the past 17 years, no? So stockholder na ako ng Mercury. So yun, but I was thinking a lot of stories were coming out. Sabi niya, pag meron kang mga medicine kinukuha, pag diabetic ka, pag high blood, etc., you should not get the vaccine kasi magkakaroon ka ng blood clot, magkakaroon ka ng COVID kasi mahina ka, etc., no? Hindi naman siya nangyari. I've been taking all these medicines for the past 17 years. Halo-halo siya, no? Because I've been through a lot of health problems in the past. So, I have a repaired kidney, I had mga ganon, ano? But yun, I think it was my mission, my work that was driving me. That was a a driver good enough for me to really want to have the vaccine. I didn't want to stop working. Okay.
Thank you, sister. So for Sister Feli, the first available vaccine is already the one that she will choose. And if you have if you have already watched Department of Health webinar, they featured Manila po as the Manila vaccine, yung process nila dun. And yes, kudos po to Mayor Moreno for that. So thank you, Sister Feli. How about you po, Dr. Jesusa? What you have fears, doubts when the vaccine was released?
Actually, that's one thing I like about Sister Feli, no? She's always on the go and really a risk taker. But if sister is too positive about the vaccine, for myself, I really have this feeling of fear. If you're going to ask me, should I take it before? I will really say no, because I doubted all the vaccines presented to us by the government, hearing from the different, seeing from Facebook, the different effects of vaccine. So there's this, again, this fear in me that is it really true? Will it really, will I really be safe if I'll get vaccinated? So, you know, there is always doubt and fear. And I keep on thinking, can the government really provide the Filipino people this kind of vaccine? And after this vaccine, are we all free from COVID? So those are the thoughts that going into my mind during that time, the earliest part wherein these different kinds of vaccine were introduced to us here in the Philippines. So, not like Sister Feli, talagang very positive siya about the vaccine. Me, I always have these doubts and fear.
Dr. Susan, until now, you still have doubts and fears of the vaccine, or after watching po DOH, our information campaign, has it changed your mind, or you still have the fears po and doubts?
Yeah. After hearing Father Nick, no, I have this clear idea about the vaccine, what will be the effect of vaccine to me and my family. So really, the information drive that CEAP provided to all of us, it serves as a motivation and encouragement for us who doesn't know about medical terms, etc. That now we really have to get vaccinated, because if we love our family, the more that we have first to protect ourselves, because just like what Father Nick said, our body is the food of the virus. And if we get protected, virus will not, there is a slim chance for us to get this COVID. Thank you.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Even Father Nick has convinced me to be vaccinated, because, to be honest, last December when our executive director told me that we're gonna have a soon vaccine will be available, and then I said, I'm not really convinced yet. But after watching Father Nick, and I also watched Father Nick po sa other webinars, I am now convinced. And first vaccine available, I am also willing to take it, because I'm also a brand. I prefer this specific brand to be honest. But right now po, any brand, as long as it's available, I'm good. So Sister Feli, all branded, and yes, she is willing to take the vaccine. Dr. Jesusa at first not convinced, but now convinced. How about po Dr. Albert? Po, what's your take po on the vaccine?
Well, the very first thought that I had was, finally, we have a vaccine that can end a pandemic. And I understand naman po na whenever I go around the different barangays, I talk to the barangay health workers, the BHERTs, and the barangay councils and tanods. The concerns were very similar. They were also, like some of the panelists have said, they were scared. But when I would begin my presentations, I always start out by discussing smallpox. I tell them na, hey, You know, smallpox was also a pandemic and it killed around 500 million to 1 billion people. But then the vaccines got created, and when the World Health Organization did this massive vaccination worldwide, no, the last reported smallpox was at 1977. And so 1980, na wiped out from the face of the earth ang smallpox. And I would tell them na, if this happened in smallpox, we can also do that for COVID. So marami ng sakit ang nakontrol dala ng bakuna. So tulad ng measles, polio, hepatitis. So ayun, the first thought talaga when I heard na may vaccines na was, I got very excited because finally, we have a chance in ending this pandemic.
Thank you, Doc. I'm excited to hear that. Magpapa-webinar ka ba for so, okay. Well, thank you for your sharing po on the
There we go. You're back na po.
So for our third question, after you've taken the vaccination, do you have any like uncertainties at first? So thank you, Dr. Albert. So I guess this is my third question po. Hindi,
Alright.
Yes.
before you've taken the vaccine, on the back of your mind, do you have any uncertainties about the side effects that's gonna happen? Sige, si Sister Feli po muna.
Actually, because of what I had been reading coming from the social media and from the stories of people I know, I was actually expecting that after getting vaccinated, in a span of 1 or 2 days, I'll be inside my room resting because they say I'm going to feel heavy. Okay, I might get a feeling of not being able to understand what's happening in my body. I might get fever or what, no? So fortunately, I didn't actually experience that much. What happened really to me was, in the afternoon when the girl brought my dinner, knocked at my door and handed me the tray of food, I asked him, tingnan mo nga ako kung may lagnat ako kasi inaantay ko yung lagnat, sabi ko ganyan. And then the girl touched my neck. Kasi sabi niya, ay sister, ang lamig po ninyo, wala naman kayong lagnat. Okay? So, what I did before taking dinner was to take my temperature. And I found out it was 38. So I had fever inside, but it did not come out. No? So what I did was to take Biogesic, one Biogesic, and after 4 hours, take it again. Okay? And then in the morning when I got up after breakfast, I took the third one. And then after that, my fever did not come back anymore, and I did not have any other experience except that. No, it was a fever na hindi lumabas, but nakuha siya ng Biogesic. But feeling bad, I didn't have it. In fact, after 2 days, I went to the mirror and trying to look at my arms, no, kasi sabi nila magkakaroon ng pasa, itim. And I did not also have it, probably because right after the vaccination, 2 hours, 3 hours after that, I started softly massaging it. No, very, very soft. And even on the first night, I said I need to sleep with this arm, okay, under, so that it could more or less get the massage even when I am sleeping. So I really did not have the experience of that hematoma they were saying. Okay. Although I got exposed to COVID positive, actually, 5 beses na eh. I got exposed to COVID positive people 5 times already. Okay, you remember the first time was in the Senate hearing. And I had to be quarantined for 14 days the time. Okay, so we were together noon. The second one was I got exposed with I hope the person will not mind if I mention the name. I'm sure no. So Dr. Hermano, I did not know. He also did not know he was positive. So we were together from 11 o'clock up to almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We were having lunch and discussing things. No, we were doing planning for the different groups that we are handling. So very close kami. When you eat, wala ka namang mask.
Yes.
And it was after that he messaged me, sabi niya, dumating ang result ko, positive ako, and I started to be afraid, no? Because we were very close the day before he got his result, no? So sabi niya, mag-quarantine ka. But quietly, I isolated myself. I didn't tell anybody, no? So the third time was very, very close. And it's a very, sabi nga, kinlasify ng doctor as high exposure daw. Kasi sabi ng doctor, 2 hours, close contact, high exposure. But I was with 2 COVID positives for 4 days. We were working closely. I did not know, they did not know. Okay? And then after that, pero this third time, I was already vaccinated. So I was already counting. I said, based on what I read, I said, 7 days after the first dose, you get 50% protection. I said, and 14 days after the second dose, I said, you get 100% protection of the vaccine. So I started counting. I said, 7 days, 50%. Sabi ko, with these 2 COVID positive for several days, I said, Lord, even if it is just 10 or 20% protection from the vaccine, from the first dose, sabi ko, okay na sa akin yun. 10 to 20% protection. I was sure then that I will not be positive. No? So I went to have myself tested. I quarantined myself while waiting. I completed the 14 days. After 14 days, that was Easter Sunday, I attended the mass only to be told by the doctor, go back, you have to extend your quarantine because there was another exposure. No, na after nung third exposure ko, I did not also know that there was this teacher. I was talking to the teacher closely, no, I was working with him. Positive din pala siya. Okay? And then the fifth, no? But then the fourth and the fifth, I was kind of confident because I said, lumampas na ng 7 days. So I said, thank God I got vaccinated, no? So yun yung experience ko with the vaccine. Kaya nga, at the beginning, sabi ko, I'm really waiting for the second dose. Because I said, 14 days after the second dose, I said, I can start moving around again, because at the height of pandemic, even January of this year, I was in Zambales, I was in Tarlac, I was in La Union, I was in Lawag, no? Yung mga ganon. February, I was in Batangas, in Lucena, Bumaca, yung mga ganon, ano, and March. So, umiikot kasi ako eh. But with the vaccine, well, to me, the formula, of course, is always prayer. The intake, the lifestyle, no? Kumakain ako ng madami. Okay? So the intake and the vitamin C and D that I had been taking for years. Talagang inaano ko na yon ever since. And then the vaccine. But to me, the formula will always include a protocol. Because even with the vaccine, you see at the beginning when I showed myself on screen, I was wearing mask, and Alan asked me, "Are you with somebody in the room?" And my answer was, "No, I'm alone." But I got used to, after being vaccinated, I had to still follow protocol, wear my mask, even if I'm alone in the office. I wear the face shield, even if, no, okay? So the vaccine is there, but the formula to me is first and foremost prayer. The kind of food you're taking, should I include vitamin C and D there? And then, of course, the protocol. I follow protocol. Okay? I wear face mask and face shield the whole time.
Thank you po, sister. How about for you po, Dr. Jesusa, meron po ba kayong uncertainties before you have taken the vaccine?
Last March 16, my husband told me that he registered me here in the barangay for the vaccine. So, I was shocked. So, sabi ko, why did you register me? Because, because the doubts that I have, the fear. So, immediately, I messaged our HR. Sabi ko, Joanne, si Tito Manny mo, ni-register ako. Is it really safe to get vaccinated at this point in time? So far, because that is the earliest time that vaccine is being given to us Filipinos. So sabi ni HR, go lang tita, sabing ganon. It is for your safety. But still, there is this fear na what will happen to me after the vaccine? Seeing a lot of cases na somebody died because of vaccine and the like. So there is always this fear in me. Until, luckily, hindi kami tinatawag for the vaccine. Thanks be to God, thanks be to God. And then, I saw my niece, nag-post siya sa Facebook na may vaccine na siya ng Astra. So, I sent her a message and, how do you feel now? Sabi niya, tita, medyo masakit, and then I have fever, but I have already taken the paracetamol. So, I asked her, kasi frontliner din siya. I asked her, should I get my vaccine now? So, very safe naman yung answer ng pamangkin ko. Sabi niya, tita, if you are sure of your immune system, if you have already consulted the doctor, then go for that. But it really depends on you. So it's a safe answer that I cannot get exact answer from the people that I am consulting to. That I also asked Father Nolan. Sabi ko, Father, magpapavaccine na kami ni Manny. So, what brand? Astra ata, sabi kong gano'n. Sabi niya, sige, basta take care of yourself, something like that. So, there is this always doubt, no? Na doubt and fear pa rin ang nararamdaman ko upon hearing na naka-register na kami for vaccination.
Follow up, Dr. Susan, di ba you've already gotten the shot? What did you feel naman po after that?
After the vaccine,
Yes.
so we rested there for 15 minutes. After that, we were advised, okay, you can go home. So pagdating sa bahay, of course, you take a shower. And after that, I did not feel anything. Even up to this time, I feel okay. So far, thanks be to God, nothing really happened.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jesusa. Now, I'm really curious about listening to Dr. Albert. After hearing their stories, Doctor, especially yung kay sister na she has already been vaccinated and then na-expose siya to a COVID positive patient. So, how about for the vaccination itself, how many like percentage are we sure na hindi na tayo mahahawa for post to COVID once na vaccine na tayo?
I'm sorry, what's the percentage of being infected? When I get asked this question from the people here, I always say na there's always that chance to get reinfected with COVID even after the vaccination. No, the vaccines won't prevent you from getting COVID. You can still have COVID if you got exposed, if you're a close contact. However, what I always emphasize is that you have an added protection. For the mild to moderate symptoms, there are varying efficacies across brands. But I always say na for the severe, it's 100% of the time you won't get the severe, you won't get hospitalized, and you won't die. No, that's what I say. So you can still get COVID, but you have an added layer of protection, which is very important.
Doc. And how about you po on the hesitancy after you've taken the vaccine? Meron ka ba, Doc, na like iniisip na doubts or uncertainties after you have taken that vaccine?
Well, before I got the vaccines, I'll be honest, like you, it was not whether the vaccines work or not. Parang at the start of the rollout, I was very brandist. I wanted a certain brand. I wanted to get the best brand of vaccine. So I was reviewing the different brands, and I would say, I want this brand for me. I will not take the other brand. So that essentially was my uncertainty, that I did not want to settle for a lesser kind of brand. But yeah, that was my uncertainty.
After, Doc, nung you've taken the vaccine, meron ka bang fear, like side effects or any side effects or adverse effect that might happen to you?
For the side effects, I was one of the first to get vaccinated here in Lanuza. I wanted to set an example to my staff, my RHU, who were also a bit nervous. So when I got my shot, the side effects included pain in the injection site, ang sakit. Tapos I was feverish and I had chills for 2 days. Wala nga ako mabilang paracetamol nun kasi sarado na yung mga tinda. Maaga nagsara dito sa probinsya, no? So, ayun, in my experience din kasi the side effects are normal. It means that the vaccines are potent. No, they are strong, they are effective. So our bodies, they're mounting an immune response that manifests as fever or chills. So for me and for the staff that I talked to, we really have nothing to worry about regarding the side effects of the vaccines that we have.
So for Sister Feli, no side effects. Even for Dr. Jesusa, kay Dr. Albert, may side effects. Side effects tayo. If correct me, Doc, if I'm wrong, kasi from Father Nick's talk, sabi niya, the ages 30 or to 40, sila yung talagang nakaka-experience ng side effects, ng like more side effects. Is that really based on experience ng pagka-after vaccine? And then the 50 to 60 needs super less na side effects ang nararamdaman nila.
I'm not really sure on the exact the age range, but so far it also depends on the brand. Kasi for me, I got AstraZeneca. The side effects were much more potent as compared to the Sinovac vaccines, no. And for those who, mga ka-age ko lang din kami nagkakaroon ng side effects. Pero so far, yung mga 50 to 60, yung mga senior citizens namin, apart from the pain in the injection site, wala silang masyadong side effects na feel. So, nakakatawa, nakaka-comfort din yun for our end. Pero yeah, it was very safe naman.
Thank you, Doc. May additional question lang ako, Doc, on the blood pressure. If, for example, hypertensive ka po, can you be given the shot?
The quick answer is yes. Like ko sinasabi, Sir, Doc, high blood po ako. Pwede ka ba magpabakuna? Pwede po. Meron po kasi tayong guidelines na pina-follow na if the patient presented with high blood pressure, and when we say high blood pressure, mga greater than 180 over 100, ginagawa namin, pinapahinga muna namin siya. So, binibigyan namin siya ng medications, pinapainom namin ng tubig, nilalagyan namin electric fan in front of them. Tapos, uupo lang sila hanggang sa matanggal yung stress nila and ma-relax sila. And then, if it doesn't work, yan, nabibigay kami ng medications. But eventually, if wala namang na-feel yung patient na like headache or loss of consciousness, pwede siyang bakunahan, regardless kung high blood. Basta, minomonitor naman po namin yan. So, they have nothing to worry about.
Thank you po. I think that's yung frequently asked questions ng mga hypertensive nating audience, if they can be vaccinated. But I think na-cover po natin yung last question natin. How was the experience of getting vaccinated? How did you feel after you took the vaccine? And how do you feel, I think the last question is, how do you feel now that you're vaccinated? Meron pa kayo na-feel na anything, still side effects or adverse effect? Let's start with Sister Fel. Because I know, Sister Feli, you did not feel any side effects after. How about now po? How are you now after
the side effect immediate was what I was saying, that I had 38 degrees fever, but it was inside. But then it was driven away by the biogesic, no, yung paracetamol. But yun lang. But external, wala naman. But right now, nakakailang na rin naman, malapit na yung second dose. Wala naman ako. I am not experiencing anything except that I am more confident now. Okay? But I still follow protocol, no? I wear face mask. Kakatanggal ko lang ng face mask ko, no? I wear face mask even if I am alone. I wear face shield even in the chapel during mass, no? Because like what Dr. Albert said, the vaccine is not going to, does not mean COVID is na hindi kakapit sa iyo, hindi ka pwedeng ma-COVID. So I still have to protect myself, no? In spite of the vaccine, I still have to follow protocol. I still have to protect myself. Kaya lang, after all the 5 exposures na, yung talagang high exposures with COVID positive, I feel that right now I become more conscious. I'm more aware that I need to be more careful now. I need to be more observant of people I deal with. Hindi naman yung ibig sabihin na hindi ako makikipag-usap o hindi ako lalapit. But when I say I need to be more careful, it is always seeing to it that I wear the mask properly and I wear the face shield properly. Okay? But in terms of confidence, parang naging built-in sa akin yung confidence na hindi ako ma-ICU, God forbid, no, kung ma-COVID ako, no, that it is going to be something na treatable, no, kahit sa bahay lang. Hindi na siya magiging severe. Yun. I walk with that thought every day. Okay.
How about you, Dr. Jesusa?
Yes. Actually, during the vaccination time, so that was, I think, April 6th. So we were there in the school having this long line, no? So as what Dr. Alberto said, yes, you can still be vaccinated if you have high blood. All you have to do is just to rest. But seeing the line, I'm in the number 40 of the line, and then all the people are getting irritated because of the heat of the sun, and then they are all standing, and then there is this man talking to me without that the face mask is down here. So there is this again the fear. Sabi ko, mababaksin nga ako, pero parang mahahawa muna ata ako ng virus because I am exposed to the long line. So until such time na naiinis na yung mga tao, sabi ko, no. I should not get irritated. I must relax. Otherwise, matutulad ako dun sa mga iba na high blood. So they will still take rest and then line again. So sabi ko, sige, I'll get my phone. I'll just play games na lang, visit the Facebook para relax. And then my husband is giving me water. Alam niyo naman si husband, laging full support yan. So water. So kahit na nasisingitan ako sa line, sige lang, relax because ayoko ma-high blood. Gusto ko dire-diretso na yon. And thanks be to God, 130/90, go to the next step. And then go to the next step, the vaccination. So ayan na yung experience. You know what, ever since I am a child, takot na ako sa injection. So I did not look at the needle. I closed my eyes and then there it goes. Ay, tapos na pala yung vaccine. So the experience of the vaccination is indeed good for me. I did not feel anything. To this time, I did not feel anything. But again, I really pray that the confidence of Sister Feli, iba to sa akin ng hangin, no? Sister Feli, I am still not confident. I'm sorry, but I am not still confident to go out. That's why I am still here at home, work from home pa rin ako because, you know, I have my 4 grandchildren and I fear na baka mamaya I can no longer embrace them, kiss them, if ever I will be exposed every time that I will go out. But as far as the vaccination is concerned, I really thank God. I did not feel any pain. I am okay now and I will just ask Sister Feli, Sister, please, batuhin mo ako ng confidence so that I can have that confidence in me.
While waiting for the second vaccine daw.
Yeah, May 6 will be our second vaccine.
Good to hear. Good to hear, Doctor. How about po, Dr. Albert? May we also know how do you feel right now? And I mean, how do you feel after the vaccine? And still right now, how are you feeling?
When I got vaccinated last March, yeah, as I felt feverish, I had chills. But then, in my experience po, kasi when I talk to the people, most of the patients are really scared of the side effects. And I tell them na I'm alive, I'm still okay, I'm very fine. Just after a few days, nakapag-exercise na rin, nakapag-jogging. And yeah, I feel better now. Kasi alam ko may added layer of protection na rin po ako. So I feel very much healthy today. And I'd also like to pick up from what Ma'am Jesusa said, no? Na I always get asked din kasi if after vaccine, matitigil ko na ba ang pagsuot ng face mask at pag-social distancing, no? Di ba, may mga hindi nakasuot ng mask masyado, ayan. And I always tell them na hindi po. Marami po kasi sa ating mga kababayan, hindi po sila nababakunahan. So marahil ligtas ka na sa COVID-19, severe infections, maaari mo pa rin itong madala sa mga kasambahay mo na vulnerable pa, tapos hindi pa sila nababakunahan, such as yung mga apo nga po, no? So maaaring ikaw pa maging sanhi ng kanilang severe infection. So which is why the minimum public health safety standards is still very much paramount for everyone, even after vaccination. So, yeah.
Thank you for the additional information, Doc. And I think this ends the first part of our discussion right now. We're just gonna have a quick break before resuming to the second part of the discussion, which will comprises of how do we engage more people to be vaccinated. So we'll just be taking about 3 minute short break, and then we will go directly to answering the questions from Facebook and YouTube, and then we direct them to the panelists. So again, thank you, Dr. Albert, Sister Dr. Jesusa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in school closures all across the globe. But even in these uncertain times, education must continue.
Rodrigo Duterte says he won't allow students to go back to school
for a one-size
until a
fits
vaccine is
all
available.
distance learning?
They have
She is talking about the shift to distance learning.
Through this method, teachers deliver lessons outside the traditional classroom setup.
As the leading provider of e-learning materials in the country, Tech Factors Incorporated is committed in helping you and your students experience positive teaching and learning environment inside or even outside the physical classroom.
The DepEdu, we will not anymore have these face-to-face classes with our students. We asked Tech Factor if we can convert to TechTeach. And I'm happy because they agreed to that proposal. So we have scheduled trainings already for our teachers.
The way Tech Factors are handling their schools and the teachers is very accommodating and very commendable because they are there from time to time whenever we need guidance and help in terms of the LMS, in terms of the content.
Congratulations for coming up with very good, effective, relevant, and useful learning materials.
Tech Factors is continuously finding ways to adapt and to adjust in this new normal. I am convinced that being partners with TFI is a big help in this time of new normal.
Tech Factors Incorporated, making learning a great experience. For more information, visit us at www.techfactors.com.
And now we are back. We will be answering the questions coming from the audience on both Facebook and YouTube. But before we start, may we greet Father Ramon Arcalusa, CICM. Happy 42nd sacerdotal anniversary. He's our Region 1 trustee. And we also want to greet Father Iking Balangag watching us right now. Hello, Father Iking. We also have Father Kennedy Neral, good morning CEAP from CADSA, and Father June Estoque, hashtag I love CEAP, good morning from Cabarrus Catholic College, hashtag CEAP cares. We also want to give a special shout out to those star senders, Mr. Neil Van Magbanwa Salinas, Ms. Jean Bagon, and Teacher Albert. Thank you so much for sending us or start supporting our page. And some of the greetings and affirmations coming from the audience, just want to read that real quick. It says here from Miss Dorothy Portic, a blessed morning, thankful to hear from Sister, a very positive attitude that creates a positive attitude to her listeners. Anyway, this is how we have to live at this time. And I think we can have a different attitude on having vaccinated right now. And this one is for Miss Gana, Shagana. having the vaccine is like playing the Russian roulette, and I cannot take the risk. Since I had a near-death experience last March 2020 because of severe blood infection and had 2 leg dissection and debridement and 5 blood transfusion. So may doubt si Miss Gana. Dr. Albert, can you enlighten us on this? For example, you had this severe blood infection. Can you be vaccinated po?
With regard to medyo marami siyang comorbids na sinabi, no? Meron siyang operations, etc. The severe blood infection po kasi must be brought about by other viruses or other bacteria. So, usually pag ganyan po, we ask for a medical certificate from the attending physician who saw the patient. Kasi the attending physician, siya yung pinaka may kakilala sa history ng patient. And sometimes po kasi those fresh from the operation, their immune system is still sort of improving. So which is why we need to ask a medical certificate from their attending physician. But kung matagal-tagal na rin, most of the time, ang sasabihin ko na, yes, pwede pa rin po magpa-bakuna because we need to get it as soon as possible. The threat of cases are getting higher and higher every day. So the sooner, the better po talaga.
Thank you, Doc. I hope Miss Gana is convinced and that she can be vaccinated. So the next question is for Sister Feli. So this is from Miss Adi Asibro, NCFC core member. So she asked, were you advised to stop your maintenance medication on the day of your vaccination?
No, I never stopped my maintenance medication. I was vaccinated at around 11 o'clock. I usually take my medicine some are before breakfast and some of them are after breakfast. So, nandyan pa rin siya. I also have my medicine before dinner and after dinner. So, ganun pa rin. After the vaccination, I still took my medicines.
I think that answers Miss Addie's question. There's another question coming from Miss Mary Ann Cruz, our Deputy Executive Director. She is curious. This question is for Doc Albert. So, what preparations do we need to do before we go to the vaccination center?
What preparations you need to do before going to the vaccination center? Maybe just bring your ID. You bring your identification card so that we can determine your name sa master list namin. And that's just about it, no? You just have to feel, parang make sure na you are taking your medications pa rin, that your conditions are stable. If you have a COVID infection or COVID-19 infection currently ongoing, we ask you to at least complete the 14-day quarantine. But if hindi naman wala naman kaming masyadong contraindications for you to go to the vaccination. You can just bring yourself anytime.
Thank you, Doc. And I think this question is for Dr. Jesusa. Since we are in a school community, the question is if you can share more about the experience of your administration and teachers. Are there other people from your school who were able to get vaccinated? Or they are scared to be vaccinated?
Actually, one of the reasons why I have this vaccination as a leader, I have to show the people around me that we really need this vaccine to protect our loved ones. So, as a leader, I must be the first one to show them the courage to go and fight COVID. This morning, we have our morning assembly, and then our HR showed the result of those on the survey on who wanted to be vaccinated, because at least 80% of your population must be very much willing to go into this kind of vaccine. So, and then we have already some faculty members and the non-teaching staff who have already the courage to have this vaccine. And we are still continuing to encourage them. Let's go out and register and have this vaccine for the sake of our loved ones. Actually, I shared this the CAP page to them so that they can see the experiences on how to be vaccinated.
I agree with that, Dr. Jesusa. So, as a leader, yes, we need to set a sample as a good example. So I have this one is kind of a hard to answer, but this is for Dr. Albert. So the question is, why those in the medical profession are not united in this vaccination? Why are there doctors not wanting to be vaccinated? Meron po ba, Dr. Albert? Are there some doctors who doesn't want to be vaccinated? Have you heard of a doctor or doctors or even medical professionals?
Well, personally, no. In the Department of Health memorandum, no, all healthcare professionals are considered the topmost priority. They are considered as A1. But what we always say when we conduct our vaccinations is, walang pilitan dito. Hindi po kayo sa pilitan namin babakunahan. And we respect your own personal views. Many of our patients din po kasi religion, family, yan. And it can hold true as well for the healthcare professionals. They also have their own views, their own, and despite the data given by the science. And so, personally, wala pa ako masyadong kilalang healthcare professionals na hindi nagpapavaccine. But yeah, kailangan din kasi i-address yung mga concerns of why these healthcare professionals or even non-healthcare professionals don't want to get vaccinated. And ayun lang po at ang pinakamagagawa, to educate and to address.
Thank you, Doc. Yeah, some kasi I personally also know my nurse friends, because I'm also a nurse. Some are hesitant, probably because they prefer the specific brand as Doc. Parang they're waiting for this, and then they're waiting for Pfizer to be here. But according to Father Nick, what the best available vaccine is the one that's available now. So I think that's the first thing that we need to educate them with. Okay, thank you, Doc. So
I'd like to add lang to that. All right. I'd like to add lang. The guidelines kasi of the different vaccines, that's why we wait for the different brands. No? Parang sometimes we hold our assumptions immediately. Pero the guidelines kasi, they are subject to change pa. As time goes by, we get more and more data, we get more and more results on the efficacy of the vaccines. And so, I understand kung why some healthcare workers don't want because of the current evidences, because of the evidences at that time. But the data, they come in, the results, mas maganda na siya ngayon. So maybe if we ask our healthcare professionals now, baka naman mas maka-comfort na sila with the information.
And I just want to advise our audience, if you haven't followed Viber DOH, very informative, like daily. That's where I get all of my updates for like everyday learning cases. So very helpful for us. So I guess this next question, is it really possible that there are adverse effects of this vaccination that is very fatal? That question is for Doc Albert. I think that's the first fear, fatal by adverse effect ng vaccine.
I also get this question quite a lot, especially from the barangay, the community level. Takot silang mamatay. At kung mamatay daw sila, daw ang ipapakain sa mga pamilya nila ng gobyerno. Parang ganyan. And so I tell them na right now, in terms of vaccination rate, 806 million people in the world have been vaccinated. And Philippines is parang 0.9% pa lang ng population natin ang nabakunahan. So, ibig sabihin, medyo nahuhuli na tayo in terms of the vaccination rate. However, have there been deaths that were related or that were caused by COVID vaccine worldwide? Wala pa po. sa Philippines po, has there been any kind of death reported because of the vaccine? Wala rin po. And I understand din po kasi baka natatakot like sa blood clot, ganyan. Yun yung pinaka naging issue talaga. And so I tell them na in terms of blood clotting po, the vaccines are very low in terms of parang 4 out of every 1 million lang nagkakaroon ng problem in terms of blood clot sa vaccine. Mas mataas pa ang chances mo magkaroon ng blood clot sa OCPs or oral contraceptive pills, mga 300, ganyan. Mas mataas pa ang chances magkaroon ng blood clot if you ride an airplane, mga 700, ay mga 1,000. And mas mataas din kapag nagsusmoke, mga 1,700. Then the vaccine, di ba? Tapos I tell them, most importantly, mas mataas ang chances mo magkaroon ng blood clot kapag ikaw ay nagka-COVID mismo. So that's 165,000 in every 1 million. Vaccine is 4, COVID itself 165,000. So, diba, you just have to weigh the options na we can see the vaccines are much safer talaga. The alternative, which is a vaccine, will do you well, will do everyone well.
Thank you, Doc. So I think this, our next question is more on a community level or basis. So I guess I'm gonna ask Sister Feli first on this. What is the impact of vaccination now with the people around you? Your family or your community, have they been encouraged to get themselves vaccinated? St. Paul community natin.
In my community, the sisters, many of us had already been vaccinated. Kasi, like what I said earlier, kahit hindi in Manila, kahit hindi kami nag-register, pupuntahan talaga eh. Pumupunta yung barangay, tatawagan ka talaga, papupuntahin ka. I did not, like what I said earlier, I did not have myself registered in Manila. Pero sa Manila ako na-vaccine. So, many of the sisters living with me now in the community, na-vaccine na rin sila. And even the employees na staying in the dorm, dito kasi may dorm sa Manila, some of our employees naka-stay in sila. So even during this time na nag-ECQ, nasa loob sila. Many of them, na-vaccine na din. Okay? As far as I know, ang hindi na-vaccine sa kanila, itong secretary ko na na-COVID. That's why I kept telling her, no? Sabi ko, pag umaling ka, you ask the doctor immediately, how many days should be the gap? And pag sinabing 10 days lang, on the 10th day, go and have yourself vaccinated. Yung ganon. And I was calling her because I said, why did you not get the vaccine? You have comorbidities kasi high blood ka, ganito ka. Bakit ka nagtago? No? Something like that. So, and she's very apologetic naman, repentant. Sabi niya, magpapabaksin na talaga ako, sister, magpapabaksin. Although mild naman siya, mild yung kanya, no? Kaya kailangan lang siya mag-quarantine dito sa loob, no? Ina-isolate lang namin siya. Pero bukas pa siya lalaya. Kasi we had to make sure na may clearance yung pulmo doctor. So binigyan siya ng clearance bukas. We have to make sure na yung cardio doctor niya may clearance kasi nag-online consultation kami eh. So she was monitored by 3 doctors, no? Yung doctor sa school, no? Sa university clinic, tapos there's a cardio and then there's a pulmo doctor. Kasi naniniguro ako. I wanted to make sure. That's why during the time na naka-quarantine niya, I kept telling her sa phone. I said, magpasalamat ka. Minomonitor ka ng 3 doktor. Kung hindi, kung nasa ibang lugar ka, walang magmo-monitor sa'yo. So you better make sure you will get well on time. Something like that, no? So, okay naman yung niya. So, yun yung ng community, immediate ko na community, no? Nabaksin na sila, karabihan sa kanila. Si Amin na lang yung secretary ko ang hindi.
Doc Albert, how many days before Miss Amy can be vaccinated?
Before, the guideline said that you had to wait for 90 days after the infection. But nagkaroon siya ng bagong update, no, from Department of Health. At sinabi na basta matapos ang current infection mo, like from the start of your symptoms or you got positive, 14 days after that, pwede na agad. Wala tayong kailangang i-problema for that.
Pwede na pala siya kasi in-extend namin ang quarantine niya eh. Almost a month. Almost a month because I was telling her, maniguro tayo because we will be together again in one office.
With this question is coming from Father June Estoque, our NCFC core group member. As of today, kamusta po ang status ng mga guro natin sa ating private school makapag-avail ng vaccine, and how do we best encourage our school community to submit to vaccination? This question is for first to Dr. Jesusa, then next to Sister Fel.
So, as I have said a while ago, as a leader, you must really set an example and then bombard them with information about vaccination so that they will, because when they start hearing from people, reliable sources about the stories of vaccine, that's the only time that the people in your community, specifically in your school, that they will be encouraged that it's really time for me to get vaccinated. Because they wanted to hear from people they know personally. Now, most probably seeing that I was vaccinated and I am still alive and kicking, that's a very good motivation for the teachers, the personnel, and my co-principal. Let's go out. Let's protect ourselves. Let's get vaccinated so that the people around us can also be protected. So far, as far as the survey is concerned for the school, so far so good. So a little more encouragement. Most probably, I have to encourage them to watch part 3 of the CEAP campaign. After this, most probably, majority of the teachers, those in the field of education, they will go out and avail the vaccine that is available in our country.
Thank you, Dr. How about Sister Fel?
Now the teachers are work at home.
Yes.
Okay. Because of since the start of the ECQ. But prior to that, I required them to stay in the dorm. So I see them every day doing their teaching. But even during this time, when they are on work at home scheme, I see to it that I meet them every other day, every other afternoon at the end of the day. So just like yesterday afternoon, I was with them, at 4 o'clock at the end of the class nila. Every other day yan. Because I keep reminding them to avail of the vaccine. I tell them the first opportunity you get, have it, grab it and have yourself vaccinated. And so I tell them my story, I tell them straight. I said, I believe that these last exposures that I had, the last 3 exposures that I had, I said, I believe that the vaccine worked, even if it was only 10% or 20%. I said, 10% protection is a lot better than 0 protection. Okay, so I tell them every time I meet them. That's always my opening and my closing statement. Grab the first opportunity you will get. Have yourself vaccinated. Kasi most of them hindi pa qualified dun sa vaccine Kasi ngayon na lang yung educators, yung teachers. Because they are young, so they're not included in the senior citizens. So hindi pa sila priority. Okay? Yun yung ano ko. And even friends that I get in contact with, even in the group chat, in the messages, I always tell people, the first opportunity you get, and if the opportunity doesn't come, go look for that opportunity and have yourself vaccinated, because it really helps. It really helps. My belief is that the last 3 exposures ko, which were all high exposures, I was protected by the vaccine. Of course, formula ko nga kanina, sabi ko prayer. Prayer plus the food intake. The food intake would include the vitamin C and D, and then the protocols. To me, this should go hand in hand with the vaccine. Okay? So I tell people in the group chat, because, you know, you might be surprised, but I have close to 100 group chats, no? Because there's one group chat for every class, and I'm handling so many classes, no? So, you know what really I think helped a lot in my having the courage, no, and that positive outlook about the vaccine is my experience during the height of the COVID, yung March, April, May, June, July. When I look at my students on screen, kasi naka-online lahat, especially the ones outside of the country, titingnan ko sila and I would ask, why are you wearing face mask when you're alone? Why are you, why do you have cough or cold? Why are you not, you don't look well? And sometimes I have classes sa labas na practically the entire class nagko-COVID positive. Okay? Kasi they live in, the Filipino teachers abroad, they live in just one dormitory. There are about 6, 8, or 10 people in one big room. So they would tell me, sister, nag-start kasi sa kanya, nagkahawahan kami na gano'n, no? So, and sometimes I would have to stop my class and say, okay, your health is more important than this class. So take time to rest. When you are rested, when you are ready, you just message me. Okay, and we will continue. And then I would ask them, yung bang vaccination sa area mo, na roll out na ba? Na ano na ba? Go and have yourself vaccinated. No? So I think that one, seeing them on screen, all the more build this conviction that I really have to get the vaccine. Because I see them on screen. Naaawa ako sa kanila. I had several students from the other countries. The wife or the husband or the child would message me in the group chat and would say, please pray for, okay, because my father or my husband or my wife is now in ICU, naka-intubate siya, ganyan, no? But you see, compared to the Philippines, their healthcare system maganda. So, nakaka-recover sila. Even if they go through the being intubated, nakaka-recover sila. And the first thing they would tell me is, sister, once pwede na, I will avail of the vaccine. Because I noticed that those of them who did not avail of the vaccine, sila yung na-intubate. Yun talaga, nakita ko talaga sa kanila yun. When they would message me, please pray for me, kasi, or pray for my husband, naka-intubate siya ngayon, my first question would always be, na-vaccine ba siya? Hindi po, sister. Sabi ko, sayang naman. Okay? So, I was kind of making an informal study, no? By stick lang sa papel ko. how many of those who asked for prayers dahil nag-severe sila, ang family member nila, did not have the vaccine? Kasi maagang nag-roll ang vaccine ng other countries, especially the Middle East. Bahrain ang aga, and I have so many students sa Bahrain, sa Oman, no? Diyan sa Middle East, no? Maaga silang nag-roll ng vaccine. And Filipino teachers, napansin ko to kasi nire-record ko sa klase ko. I have several classes. Yung hindi nagpa-vaccine, sila yung nakakarating sa punto ng nai-intubate sila.
Okay po.
Oo. Yun talaga. That's where I got the conviction that I really need to have myself vaccinated as early as nung umpisa pa lang ng pandemic. Kasi nakita ko sila no? Nakita ko sila sa screen. Naawa ko. And talagang mabigat sa akin knowing that like some of them would say, "Sister, I am alone. I am alone." So, nakakaawa kasi wala silang pamilya who would take care of them. And even there was one of them talaga na namatay talaga. So, na-cremate siya, and kasi early pa yon, March pa lang, towards the end of March nangyari. So, even the ash, hindi nakuha ng family kasi hindi pa alam ng country nila noon kung anong gagawin pag COVID patient ka, COVID ang ikinamatay mo, no? So, ngayon, after several months, nagbago yung ruling nila, no? Na i-cremate, makukuha ng family yung ashes, but since isa siya sa nauna na naging casualty, naawa ko sa family sa anak kasi hindi niya nakuha yung ashes. Kasi diretso ang ginawa ng hospital, bawal daw sa kanila kasi hindi pa nila alam kung ano exactly ang dapat nilang gawin sa namatay na sa ashes na nag-COVID pa. So diretso ng libing. Okay? I think that experience with many of my students from other countries gave me the conviction that I really have to be vaccinated the soonest. The first thing. You know, I have this funny experience. Do you know that kami, group of sisters, we even went to hospital ng Maynila and we were hoping we would be vaccinated. Time pa yun ng mga frontliners pa lang noon. Hindi pa nakasama yung A2, A3. A1 pa lang ang kasama sa vaccine. But we were hoping na ma-vaccine kami. So pagdating, when we arrived there, just ko after lunch, ang init-init talaga. Kasi yung linya, nasa labas ng hospital, nasa ground. And the line was so long and everybody was there, no? Pagdating namin dun sa table, only to be told, you don't qualify. This is only for frontliners. Pero pumila talaga kami. Pumila kami. Several hours. Ang init-init talaga. I just left maybe maybe about 30 minutes ahead of them because I had to be in class, no? So I told the sisters, mauna na ako sa inyo. Kasi pagkasabi na hindi kami qualified, I was begging, no? Sabi ko, I need a vaccine because of my work. I face a lot of people outside of the school almost every day. But then that woman was telling me, no, this is only for frontliner. You wait for your barangay to call for you, to inform you. Ganun, ano? But at the back of my mind, I said, how will my barangay call for me? I did not register in Manila because I was confident that my name was listed in several lists already, no? So, ganun yung kagustuhan namin, not only me, but even the sisters living with me now. Yung kagustuhan talaga namin, and I believe that what drives me is also the same thing that drives them. There is a mission. We cannot afford to die because there is a mission wherein we have an apostolate. We need to be alive for people. Yun yung kaya gusto namin. So I kept telling myself, when you are so intent on doing and you're so cleared with what you're supposed to do in life, no, that is enough to drive you to get the vaccine. I'm sure na yung aking driving force na to, yun din yung sa kapwa madre ko. They also want to be alive because there is a mission. No, hindi pa. Although sometimes I would joke, after the several exposure, I would tell them, they would tell me, ay, Sister Felicitas, masamang damo ka talaga. Kasi hindi ka mamatay-matay, no? And I would answer, well, only good die young. I would tell them, no? Bibiruin ko. That's why wala pa akong planong maging good talaga because I don't want to die yet. Okay? So yung mga biruan na gano'n, no? But at the back of my mind, common ang reason namin eh. Bakit gusto namin mabuhay? There is the apostolate. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you po. The following questions that we're seeing is more on the medical side. So I think I'm just gonna highlight 3 questions here. This is for Dr. Albert before we wrap up. So the first one is from Judy Reyes. What is the difference of the first dose and second dose of COVID vaccine? The second one is, what is the risk of the COVID vaccine for asthmatic patient? And yung last question is, would it be okay if you have another vaccine like flu or pneumonia after the COVID vaccine?
Wait. Sige. Sasayin natin. First question po is yung what is the risk from the first dose and the second dose? Correct? All right. That's a great question, no? Kasi when we get vaccinated for the first dose, hindi po completely effective ang ating immune response, which is why kailangan natin ng second dose. Only on the second dose, some vaccines, depends per brand, no? Pero some brands din kasi parang after 2 weeks of from the second dose, doon na 100% effective ang ating vaccine. So, important thing is that you have to get the second dose because the first dose is not enough. You can still, parang hindi mo makuha yung benefits of the vaccine. So, both shots have to be given. And there are some studies din po kasi na nagsasabi na baka this can go on and on, no? Baka like the flu na may booster shot, baka maging ganun din ang COVID vaccine. So, we just have to watch out. But it's a matter of just trying to get the second dose, complete first and second dose po. That's for the first question. The next question is, I'm sorry, I forgot na.
What is the risk of the COVID vaccine for an asthmatic
For the
patient?
asthmatic, yes. For the asthmatics po, when people ask, can we get vaccinated? Ang lagi ko talaga sinasabi ay, pwede. For the vaccine, for the asthmatics po kasi, may mga ilang qualifiers yan na for some daw, if nagkaroon ka ng recent asthmatic exacerbation or nagkaroon ka ng asthma attack, some say daw wait daw for 3 months after that event, no? But eventually, more importantly naman po, i-assess po namin yan because it's a case-to-case basis po. So, in the vaccination center, there is a screening area where apart from getting the blood pressure, the vital signs, etc., the doctors will also be there. They're gonna assess your comorbidities na, if you're asthmatic and you're maintained naman, you have had no recent attacks, then pwedeng bakunahan. Yan. So, consult na lang with your doctor.
And the last is, would it be okay to have another vaccine like the flu or pneumonia after COVID vaccine, though?
Yes, great question. As with all other vaccines, no, we wait for around 2 weeks since the last vaccine of whatever vaccine it is, no. So kung nagpabakuna ka ng tetanus toxoid o kaya ng flu, tapos hindi pwedeng on the next day, COVID vaccine naman. So, kailangan ng allowance. So, for some, mga 2 weeks daw, ganyan. Tapos, after the vaccine of COVID, maghintay ka lang din po ng around 2 weeks, ganyan, for the flu or for the pneumococcal. Kasi, nagkakaroon ka ng, parang, nagmamount pa ng immune response yung katawan mo. So, medyo, pa siya, may struggles pa. So, kung dagdagan na natin ng vaccine or bagong infection, it can be detrimental. So important is to pace the vaccines that we have.
Thank you so much, Doc. So I guess for us to wrap it up, last statement na po for all our panelists. So what would you like, a short message to encourage our CEAP audience before we end this webinar? So Sister Feli, go ahead po.
Just one. Go have yourself vaccinated. Grab the first opportunity you will have. If the opportunity does not come, look for it. Because we all need to be vaccinated. Thank you.
Dr. Jesusa?
Being vaccinated is really a very hard decision for all of us. But take it from me, it is really very different when the person closest to your heart, one day you will wake up and suddenly you will receive news that she decided to isolate herself because there is this feeling that she has the symptoms of COVID. And being close to your heart, you wanted to go there, visit her, comfort her, ask, is it really true? Is COVID really true? How come you have that? Where in fact, you are very healthy, you have a very good lifestyle. Why do you have that? And that's the time that you will really be encouraged that I myself, I really have to be vaccinated because I do not want the people I love most will be affected by COVID. I do not want to be affected and transmit all this COVID to the people I love. So that's one thing. So, and then we really have to encourage our family members to have this vaccine so that, sabi nga ni Father Nick, so that we can go out this December and celebrate Pasko together with the noise, with the shouting, with the dance, with the music and everything. So if we wanted our land to be healed, let's protect ourselves, let's protect our families, let's protect our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, Dr. Albert.
All right. I'd like to take the opportunity lang po to express my amazement and inspiration from the words of Sister Feli and Ma'am Jesusa. No? What they're doing is yung leadership ni Ma'am Jesusa and yung confidence ni Sister. No? They are actually acting as champions for health. And that is a strategy that we are doing then in our communities to help people. No? Kasi people look up to these champions, and when they see na as they are the champions of health, nagpabakuna at wala naman po nangyari sa kanila at mas ine-endorse pa. So parang ma-inspire sila to take the shot as well. So itong pagiging champions of health, hindi lang naman po ito healthcare professionals, no? Us from any sector in our society can be champions of health. But most importantly, what I want to end with is that obligasyon natin maprotektahan ng ating mga kababayan. Through our influences, through our services, no? It is our obligation to protect our brothers and sisters. And vaccination, since it works, it can be used. No? So yun lang naman po.
Thank you so much for our dear panelists. So I guess my major takeaway is the benefits of the vaccine must outweigh its risks and side effects. And I know the fear of the unknown is a natural instinct. So what we really need is to have them understand, and we have to provide accurate information. So thank you again, Dr. Albert, Sister Feli, Dr. Jesusa. So at the end of this webinar, we will be flashing questions for us to reflect on for the next 10 minutes. So please do take some time thinking about these questions. We'd like to thank the Jesuit Music Ministry of Jesuit Communications Foundation for our reflection music. And before we officially end, we would like to thank Tech Factors, our web host, for being our wonderful partner for this webinar, and Mr. Armando Codera Jr., the president of Tech Factors. Join us again on our last webinar this coming April 23rd from 10 a.m. to 12 noon for the third and last webinar of our CEAP information campaign on vaccines. Follow our Facebook page for more updates. Again, we thank you, our star senders. Please do keep on sending stars to show your support to CEAP. On behalf of our President, Sister Maria Marisa R. Viri, RBM, and the CEAP Board of Trustees, Mr. Jose Alan I. Aureliano, the Executive Director, and the National Secretariat team working on this vaccination campaign headed by Mr. Miguel Carlo Abadines. This is Dayandy Balias saying thank you and good morning to everyone.
Oo, si Father Ike ang pasimuno.
Asan ka na, Father Iking?
Hi, I'm here.
Kumakain ka na yata, Father. Ay, ito na si Father.
Nagsaing lang ako.
Congratulations.
Nagsaing pa daw siya.
Sister Tas, thank you very much. Ang ganda-ganda ng
may bagong anyo.
Isang bansang may bagong sigla.
Dahil sa ikaw at